I declare that anger, rightly led, becomes a blade, otherwise ruin. Command feeling, do not smother it. This matters because passion is swift, misrule scatters courage and order. Name the rising heat, measure its surge with slow breath, assign its force to clear purpose, direct action rather than noise. You now let fury scatter your host, you after 30 days marshal its gale. Know fear as a messenger, not a master. Read the body's signals, then choose action. Name fear before it names you, it sharpens and steadies the host. Ask every officer their doubt, count their breaths in counsel, break orders into clear small tasks, reward steady hands. I watched a captain lose a pass because wrath overruled sense. He struck first, then thought, and his line broke. Later he followed counsel, counted heartbeats, delayed command, seized clearer ground. Takeaway: tempered emotion turned his ruin into a stout victory. Beware the twin errors, denial and sudden eruption. Name fear, pause thrice, then translate rage to task. Measure restraint by daily counts, 3 controlled replies per counsel, or 1 avoided rash order each day. Do tonight name your strongest feeling and assign it 1 aim, more will follow. Emotion becomes fuel when measured and applied. Routine turns passion into reliable energy for long campaigns. Set a ritual, pause before orders, rehearse 3 calm phrases, allot anger to task, archive victories to temper joy. Do keep a ledger of checked tempers. You now squander fervor, you after 30 days run a steady forge. Ask yourself, who commands the storm within? One clear rule governs the mind of a commander: control of feeling is action, not suppression. Because passion determines choice and action, unchecked passion ruins plans and men. Attend to the pulse, name the feeling aloud, measure its strength on 5 breaths, delay orders until the pulse halves. Turn energy into instrument, do not squander it, the mind must convert heat of anger into sharpened decision. When anger burns, haste follows and discipline fractures. Channel rage into specification, define target, limit scope, set time, frame fear as intelligence, list risks, assign watchers, prepare fallbacks. Harvest joy for cohesion, name contributors, reward method, repeat rituals. A young captain sought immediate slaughter, I stayed my hand. I spoke 3 questions, and silence answered, we avoided an ambush. Takeaway: a leader who waits turns impulsive heat into preserved strength. Practice this habit in morning council and evening review. Do ask 3 clarifying questions before command, list 2 contingencies, and log incidents. One error is to smother feeling until it erupts, reveal it sooner. Another error is to confuse feeling with strategy, separate motive from plan. Measure by count, reduce orders given in anger by 50% in 30 days. You now steady the mood, you after 30 days steady the army. Today, record 1 anger and 1 joy, then frame actions for both. Rituals forge temperament more than discourse does. Train your company in small trials to temper feeling. Trials keep mistakes visible and reparable before great battle. Run mock Discord sessions weekly, review responses, and adjust command language. Measure by fewer failed commands per trial, seek 40% improvement. Fear is a lantern for those who know how. I treat fear as information to shape decisions. When men tremble, reason reveals weak points and hidden resolve. To ignore fear is to march blind into ambush. Do note the first sign of hesitation among commanders. List the exact object of the fear. Do name the emotion allowed to remove its power. Ask men what they fear and why. Once I stood before troops on a cold dawn. A wing trembled at the sight of smoke and fled without orders. I paused, spoke the fear by name, then ordered scouts to probe. The wing returned, its anger turned to focus. Takeaway, naming fear turns its sway into clear intelligence. Mistake, punish visible fear and it will hide, not vanish. Avoid this by rewarding clear reports of doubt. Measure by counting voiced fears and reports per week. Aim to double that number within 14 days. You now let fear drive orders, you after 30 days name it, and order steady. Microquest, tomorrow, ask 3 soldiers what they fear. Joy is fuel that can burn the commander if left wild. I bind joy with ritual to sustain discipline. Unchecked celebration breeds lax guard and poor planning. If joy is shaped, it becomes steady momentum for action. Do schedule brief rites to mark victories. List achievements by name and decide next work. Do limit celebration to the appointed hour. Ask officers to record lessons learned before feasting. After a swift victory, troops sang until dawn. Their watch thinned, and a small raid stole supplies. I ordered a solemn hour of account before the feast. Takeaway, a bound joy preserves readiness and multiplies gains. Mistake, confuse merriment with victory, the enemy learns while you revel. Avoid this by anchoring joy to work yet undone. Measure by incidents of lax defense after triumphs. Aim to have such incidents within 30 days. You now bask and neglect watch, you after 30 days feast, inspect. Having named fear, now bind joy, the ritual completes the tempering. Microquest, after next success, call an hour of account before any song. Yield not to passion, I master its fire as a general harnesses wind to drive my banners, to steady the standards. I know emotions are raw energy that the leader must direct, not smother, lest feelings scatter the host at dawn. Anger breaks ranks, fear causes flight, restrained joy sustains will and steadies hands in long marches and sieges. Pause 3 measured breaths before you answer, and mark the body's movement for clearer counsel and steadier speech. Speak measured words after those breaths, bind speech to aim and spare the troop needless grief and confusion. I once saw a captain strike his drummer in sudden fury, and the beat faltered under trembling arms before dawn. His men looked to one another, unsure which will to obey, and cohesion began to crumble under pressure. The enemy found the space between intent and action, and seized that gap without pity or delay the same day. Takeaway, tempered wrath preserves cohesion and steadies the ranks through seasons of trial and scarcity. I will show a quiet measure. Reflect now on a single moment you let fury speak, note the cost and vow a new practice at once. I teach that a leader turns emotion into motion by simple rites before battle that set purpose and calm across the ranks. Create a brief counsel before each task and speak the aim aloud, assigning a keeper of calm and clarity. Practice a 3-minute cool when fury rises, rehearse joy as fuel so courage stays honest in trial. Do not punish feelings, nor brood alone, name causes, accept error, and redirect energy to purpose and repair. Track calm by 3 fewer rash orders weekly, you after 30 days will command steadier men, begin now with a right. Anger and joy are forces, the general must govern them. Acknowledge and direct emotion, do not suppress it. When soldiers mirror a leader's temper, strategy dissolves and error spreads. Control yields choice, uncontrolled feeling yields only reaction. I will teach a ritual. Do pause before speaking and count 3 silent breaths. Do state the feeling plainly and name its source. Do assign the feeling a task, warn, retreat, press, or conserve. You now wield temper, you after 30 days turn fury into calibrated action. I once let triumph swell in camp after a swift victory. At dusk I heard laughter where watchfulness should have held firm. We lost a granary to a small raid, the price was humility. Takeaway, ritual checks bind joy to duty and prevent loss. Avoid rejoicing without an accounting of supplies and orders. Measure your command by orders fulfilled within 5 days. Target 80% completion before celebration commences. As promised earlier, I offer a simple ritual to steady impulse. Do inhale 3 counts, do speak the intended action, observe results for 7 dawns. The council's mood shapes every order executed. Treat the council as an instrument to tune emotion and resolve. Do convene a brief listening round before plans are set. Do record concerns openly and direct them into clear tasks. Do praise restraint and correct needless alarm with facts. Methods must be tested swiftly, poor rituals are worse than none. I initiate a 7-day trial of the ritual among lieutenants. Observe changes in compliance and error rates each dawn. Microquest, tonight, enact the ritual with your council and report results. Will you let a surge of anger decide your command? I teach the leader to allocate emotional forces, not deny them. Emotion is energy that moves men, misdirected, and camps collapse. Control is steady ordering of those currents toward decisive ends. Name the feeling aloud before issuing an order. Pause 2 heartbeats, measure the intensity before you act. Delegate immediate tasks to distract surging troops for minutes. Record the trigger and the response in a simple ledger. Reframe the emotion into a tactic before sending men forward. Once, I watched a captain storm the field blinded by grief. I stopped him with a command to sound the horn and wait. The pause cooled his fury, the enemy misread our silence and erred. Takeaway: a short ritual can turn heated will into disciplined strategy. Do not silence emotion by punishment, it festers and returns. Avoid public shaming, teach expression with limits and tasks. You now command with sharper edge, you after 30 days harness storms into rhythm. Measure by decisions reversed and men's steadiness, aim for 50% fewer rash orders. Track the ledger nightly for 30 days to observe change. I promised earlier the method to turn fear into patience, this completes that promise. Tonight, name 3 feelings that moved you and note their outcomes. Give emotion a messenger, assign 1 trusted officer to voice heated counsel. Let that officer speak once, then let silence weigh on decision. This prevents a single loud voice from sweeping your host into folly. You after 30 days will notice calmer counsels and quicker clear orders. Master your anger before it masters your battle ranks. I hold that a leader must harness emotion and not suppress it. Emotion is energy, and energy misspent shatters discipline and invites defeat. You now give yourself to every surge, you after 30 days, steer those surges into orders. Do observe the first sign of swelling feeling, name it, breathe and delay the reply. Once I watched a commander fling his spear at a messenger and lose half the valley to panic. He claimed righteousness, but his rage unmade alliances and squandered opportunity. Takeaway: pause, speak, and convert fury into measured action, you after 30 days will save more ground. Do not rechristen stoicism with silence, do not mistake suppression for mastery. Measure progress by cycles, count moments you delayed reply, aim for a rise to 5 pauses per day within 30 days. Practice now, list 3 triggers, rehearse 1 calming phrase, order 1 tempering habit before the next council. You after 30 days will have fewer eruptions and more decisive moves, the next lesson will bind emotion to strategy. Use joy and fear as signals, not as masters of command. I teach that every feeling must be translated into clear instruction to the ranks. When joy spreads without direction, victory dissolves, you now celebrate and scatter, you after a campaign will marshal joy into coordinated advance. Do assign 1 signal for triumph, 1 for caution, rehearse both before dawn, and watch cohesion rise 20% in 6 weeks. Renew your inner store as you renew your armor. I teach ritual that refreshes resolve so emotion becomes steady fuel. Do set 3 brief rites each dawn, bow, breathe, proclaim duty. You after 7 dawns will feel steadier, count calm moments each day and add 1 per week. Turn feeling to purpose, a commander who governs his heart governs victory.